There was something you said that, like, you said people's skills, and then when the first time I heard it, I heard people's skills with the apostrophe added, and I'm like, yo, the internet has made everybody an expert, which has actually made it hard for people to recognize people's skills. And I was like, you wouldn't even say that, but it's what I heard on some rap shit, and I'm like, damn, he said a double by accident right there, cause like,
A double entendre.
yeah, because like think about that. Like you go on
Yeah,
Facebook, like I could tell instantly when you started talking that marketing game, it got me excited. Like I'm a marketing dude myself, so I'm like, okay, we go in there, and you know what's up. But
yeah.
like a lot of people will literally like the extent of marketing to them is promo. It just stops and ends with promo.
They have no idea what Mark. I'm sorry, and I will again. You guys brought me on the interview, but
Bro, spit your
80
truth.
to 89% of the people that you see on the internet have no idea what they're doing.
Bro, I spit that shit all the time.
89%. Yeah, 89%. And the reason being is because they have this fake it till you make it attitude. Well,
Hmm.
guess what? Let me tell you something, my friend, is that when you're trying to fake it till you make it in the music industry, they will see through your bullshit so fast and kick you out that door so fast, man. It's like you have to bring skills to the table. When you sit at those tables and you discuss contracts, this is what everybody wants. All these rappers like, oh, I want to get a contract, I want to get a record deal, or the bands, right? The bands wants to get a record deal and all this stuff, and they don't understand what that even means. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand what exactly is attached to that record deal. If they give you a bunch of money, let's say, and that is an advance, by the way, a loan, by the way, that's a loan that you get. They loan you a bunch of money, make you feel good because you had that one song that took off. Next thing you know, you have to do a whole bunch more songs because it was in the contract and you didn't realize. And all of those songs are attached to that same one lump sum of money that they gave you. Now you're doing a whole EP, and if that EP goes platinum or takes off, then a lot of that money is going back to the record label. You know what I mean? And they don't realize that, in fact, you are getting, excuse my French, fucked
You can
is
swear.
what's happening to you. So that's the thing is this is what, and so now
Well,
everybody wants to
even
be a record label.
uh,
I was good. This is getting good, man. This is
everyone
getting
wants to
so
be. You
good.
said
So
everybody wants to be a record label,
yeah, so now
especially in
all these
Canada.
in Canada, it's huge.
Do you
Everybody
know
wants to
why?
be. Everybody
It's
is
because
a
everyone
record
figured
label
out
or
that
a
the record
studio or
labels get all the grant money. So now everyone's trying to chase that grant money. Yo, in Canada, we have a grant money fucking problem. Not to say it's a problem. It's a beautiful thing, this grant money. But I've wildly seen people
really.
chase $5,000 grants and not, and in this period of time where if they had just not done music for 3 months, they could have made $5,000 type thing.
Answer me this. Why is it that Drake gets accepted for a grant for music every single year? Why is
Probably.
that? When he's one of the
I will give you
wealthiest
an
hip
answer
hop
to that
artists in the
shit. Do you want to know
world.
why? Because the system has to be fucking fair. That's the answer to your question.
And well, okay, and you're that's a very conservative remark. This is a very conservative
I'm
response, and
because
it
I'm not in charge of the system. It's not my desires.
that's
I'm answering based on
that,
how I perceive it.
right. And the way the grant system works is that it's a fair play clause, and it's not based on how much money or how reputable you are or any of
Because
that
imagine
stuff.
like the optics is what I'm hearing that question. My thoughts are because everything goes to what are the optics. I'm in that place in life when you hear that word a lot, and the optics of having OVO come out and say that they got blocked on a grant for Canadian for some hobo artist that nobody cares about because it's never gonna be for Drake. It's gonna be for some or maybe a specific
So
project and shit like
let
that.
me
And that's the optics of
let me
that are
put a
real bad.
scenario. Okay, so let me put a scenario in your mind. Let me put a scenario in your mind for a second. So he says he's going to do a show in Toronto. He's going to do a show with OVO Sound, and he's going to feature artist A and artist B in the show. He's going to give spots to four other openers in that same show. Then he's going to hire an entire security team of people that are going to need to be there to check every single person at the door for that show. Then he's going to need to hire sound engineers to make sure that all the music is on point for that show. So what he's doing is he's taking this grant and saying, yes, you're giving me $125,000 so that I can facilitate this show, rent the venue, have the spot and all that stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm employing a bunch of these people
Mm.
in that venue, and I'm actually providing jobs for people in that venue, and I'm actually providing a lot of media coverage in that venue in your city So that's basically what he's saying, is that there's a return on investment. And this is why the government loves to give grants to people like that, because it's like a business opportunity for them. In the same, yes, they're giving you the money, but then this is more tax dollars that are
Yeah, what
being
you're
paid in.
saying sounds hella plausible. That sounds like the
Yeah,
government.
yeah.
Because they
So
want to
again, that's
put
what,
that
because
government of Canada bullshit all over the flyer, because that's what happens next, or factor, or whatever which one you end up with. And then,
well, it's I know a guy that writes factor grants, and that was kind of his main gig. And he was telling me a few things. We had a project that we were working on together called Mentor Your Music. Now, I'm not going to get into the details, right? Because it's outdated and it's not going to be launched. So I'm not going to get into the details. But what I will say is that he talked about how the process works with writing grants, with getting accepted for grants. And you would be surprised how fairly simple it is to just try and build your case in order for the government to grant you that money. The thing that they want to see is exactly down to the right specific, what are you going to do with every penny that we give you? With absolutely every penny that you're asking for, where's it going? So the first step is getting everything together and making sure that all the points are hit for everything that you're going to get for the factor grant. Now, I know somebody who does this, but I don't personally do this, so I can only go into so much information. This is
yeah,
just
no.
information that he told
Listen,
me.
you're putting people on game. You also prefaced it with, don't take this as hard facts, in case anybody didn't miss that point. The other part is,
Right.
like, you're supposed to, like, what we're doing is we're giving people these little knowledge nuggets that they can go take and have better idea of what to Google. One of the other things that happen is, I think a lot of those people you see doing cheap things and thinking about labels, it's what I call the page one Google phenomenon. I do SEO freelance, as in I write pages that rank. I don't do it as much now, so maybe I'm out of touch, but I know how to look at the top 3 articles on Google and have no knowledge on the subject and be in the top 3 articles on Google. And that's been going on for about a decade. So actually your good answers and information stopped being Googleable in the easy way. And what ends up being Googleable is trendy, super 101 level content. So when you see the best Twitch hacks to get followers, like, that kind of content ends up being supreme for everybody trying to figure stuff out. Whereas it's honestly, like, you need a understanding of macro and microeconomics to properly, like, balance a marketing background. Like, you need to have at least a base level, like,
It's a shiny object. It's a what you call it Googleable, but I call it shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome has happened for the last decade, where people have consistently bombarded you with a bunch of fake promises that
okay,
lead you to
I'm with
believe
that.
that you need to change yourself or that you need to do something. I can boil it all down to something that makes sense. Hard work works. Hard work works. And
Yeah,
these
that's facts.
people are trying to convince you, they're trying to convince you that there is some cheat code or there's some easy way to promote yourself or promote your music or whatever the case may be. They come in and some of these guys will come in and be like, nah, homie, I've done shows for years, dog. I got this big label. I got this big brand, bro. And they come in all heavy like that. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's really how educated you are that gets you ahead. It's really how much research you actually do that gets you ahead. Those guys that have all these people around them and these phenomenons that you see on the internet and on the mainstream, those guys are like the 4% of people that are actually doing it and making good money doing it. How do I get myself to that 4%? How do I get there? Well, you can imagine the work ethic it's going to take you to get there, the dedication, the time, the amount of shows that you're going to run, and no one's there. You got no viewers. You got no one comments, no shares, no likes. You got to make it through those days to get to the days that are good. It's consistency. That's it. It's literally consistency and making it a good look. It's got to be a good look and it's got to be consistent. These people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, can you do this for me, or can you make a show for me, or can you help me with this, or something like that?" And it's like, I'm not going to go to the extent of being like, I appreciate it. When people reach out to me for information, I appreciate that. I kind of take it as a little bit of flattery. But like I'm saying that there are a lot of things that you could just Google. There are a lot of things that you could just search and find the information that you're looking for. But you will never be able to match that with somebody who has the experience.